Mike Chipperini at Chipper's Island Adventures here, and today I am in my Travato 59K and I am headed to get something that I've wanted for a long time, and this is dealing with the onboard stereo system in the chassis, which is this. That there is a Pioneer NEX 1500. And you know, it's not a bad little stereo, but I've never been totally happy with it. So I'm going to have a bigger screen style stereo involved. So that's today's big doings on Chipper's Island Adventures. So hey everybody, what I'm doing today is I'm heading up to an auto stereo installer, and I am going to install, I believe it's the Alpine ILX 509, I believe, which gives me a 9-inch screen. Now, I haven't fully decided whether I want to go with the 9-inch or the 11-inch, and I'll make that decision once I get there. But when you're driving these vans, if you're on the road, I really love music, and it helps me pass the time. And when you're driving down the road, it's nice to have a good stereo system if you are into music. So this is going to be probably one of the biggest purchases I ever make for my rig. You know, that along with a couple things like a spare tire carrier, you know, but really and truly, I think this is going to be the biggest purchase for this particular rig. You know, at some point I'd like to get new tires. I've heard a lot of great things about the Michelin Agilis, I think that's how you pronounce it. But today, we're gonna do the stereo. So, this particular stereo, one of the things I notice is that it's not, it's not consistent. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes I'll turn it on and it has a hard time finding my iPhone for the CarPlay. And then one day I hit a bump and the stereo shut down. And then it takes a while for it to reboot. And it almost seems like it's not going to reboot. Then another time I closed the front door and it rebooted. So I'm not sure if there may be a loose wire. I already spoke to the installer about that, and I'm sure he'll go ahead and make sure that everything's connected really well. Because, you know, when the guys are at the factories and stuff, whether it be Winnebago or Ram, you know, they're just plugging it in, and they may not plug it in all the way, because everything nowadays is plug and play. It's just a matter of plugs in the back of the unit. So we'll see what we have. I'm really looking forward to this install because it's going to create a way better sound. Right now I have this Pioneer NEX 1500, and it has JBL speakers in the doors with a tweeter on the right and left side of the dash. So it's a good speaker, and I'm really hoping that this unit will make a big difference, because along with the unit I'm also having a subwoofer installed as well, and that'll go right behind the driver's seat. At least that's the game plan at this point. So that's it for now. Let's go ahead and get to the installer location, and I'll get back to you. And here we are. Auto sound. These guys are going to do my stereo. There's my rig sitting out there. Oh boy. So what we're trying to figure out is what size to go to. This, I cut these pieces out. This is a 9-inch screen. The existing one is 7-inch, and this would be an 11. So it may be a little bit too big. So he's actually getting the actual screen to bring out, and then we're going to compare it. And so this would be pretty cool. You know, hopefully all goes well. Hopefully it's a quick install, because this unit is already in. So he was worried initially that it was the existing radio unit, whatever it may be, but he saw that it had a DIN, which is a double. The usual stereo is half the size, but this is a double, so they've already modified this area. And basically what's going to happen is this unit goes out, the head unit goes in, and the screen will be extending outward. You'll see what I mean here in a moment.
That's obviously the 11.
Wow. And that's pretty much scented.
Let me see. I think so. Yeah.
Does that pivot at all, or?
We can pivot it when we're installing it.
Yeah, I mean.
But you won't be able to pivot it this way.
Okay, all right. Just
but it's
this
got
way.
a high definition screen, so you're going to be able to see it fine from an angle. Yep.
What's the other one look like? I really like the bigger screen, I'll be honest. I'm sitting here with Ron. He's the owner of AutoSound. These guys just moved over here today. Or excuse me, yesterday was the first day of business here. So they just moved over here, so I'm one of the first customers at the new location. See, and that looks good too, huh? That's almost perfect for the size.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more time with the other one. Is that pain in the tail?
No.
Okay. We won't take that one out.
Yep.
You know, it's like one of those things, you make the decision and you live with it for better or worse.
Right.
That is a sweet looking unit. Yeah.
You want to try shifting?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't in the way of your hand.
Might be a little bit.
I think that's right in the middle there.
Yeah. Boy, it's freaking tough.
I built that into the
right. Okay, that looks
the
good.
amplifier built into it.
Yeah. Got my camera on.
And then
Oh wow.
installing it here.
Yeah. Hi guys.
They're doing leather interior.
What's the steamer for?
Leather. We're putting leather in.
Oh wow, really?
Both of these guys are doing 2 different cars for leather interior.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a look and see what we're looking like here. See, he's got the friggin' whole thing out. And there's the old unit. So there's all the wiring and everything. So we'll see what he's gonna do. Looking pretty good. This is gonna be a nice big addition. All right. Here's the old unit. So I'm going with this subwoofer. We're going to put that behind the seat. And I'm also going with the Alpine 11-inch because you can see it really well. Look at this screen. That's a beauty. That's hard to beat. So that's what I'm going with, is this screen. It actually has a button you can press and it brings the camera right up for the rear camera. But way better sound than that NEX 1500.
You can text it to us. We're creating brighter futures for all at Macy's.com/purpose.
Hey everybody, after a long install, I finally got the stereo installed and I want to show you what it looks like now. Check that out. That's a nice big screen. You can see my iPhone is here, right here. And what a difference in sound. And this is the big thing, is this huge difference in the whole navigation. So now I could see it much more clearer as opposed to the little Pioneer screen. And then furthermore, the sound, now I could play this. This is one of my songs from my old band. So now if I play this, the sound is unbelievable. All the steering wheel controls work perfectly. And there's a lot of information on this. I'll stop that. A lot of information on here. And I'm just now getting used to it. So here you see a lot of, you know, radio. There's supposedly an HDMI cable connected to it. I'll find out about that. Apple CarPlay, and it works off wireless CarPlay. So I don't have to be hardwired in for it to work. Vehicle info, check this out. A lot going on there. And that's the gauges. Then you can do the vehicle info. So here's my tire pressures. We're all looking pretty good. My battery over here. You know, so quite a thing to have here. And along with this setup, the other thing I did is I put in a subwoofer, and you can see that back here. The only problem with the subwoofer is you can see it's over my hatch a little bit, but that's all right, you know, just move it out of the way. But that's a nice tucked in area. But I will have to find a new place for my Jackery solar panels if I even carry them. So I just want to say, this install, you know, it wasn't cheap, but I prefer to have the larger screen. And since I was going with a stereo, a new stereo, I wanted to get something decent. And this is one of the top brands, Alpine, and it's much better than the Pioneer. So very happy with this install. I think it sounds great. It sounds great going down the road. The separation of the music instruments and all that is fabulous. I've used the phone with it, and that was great. I might readjust where the microphone is and move it up a little bit, but I'm going to see if there's microphone settings on here. But anywho, if you like this video regarding my new stereo upgrade, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. All the best to all, and happy RVing.